What's going on, everybody? You know something I realized the other day? Well, Dallas is in less than 3 weeks, so a little over 2 weeks. And I've been to seven, including Dallas, can jams. And I'm an IM guy, even though I do listen to headphones, but more about that later. I'm an IM guy mainly, but I do love headphones. So I have been to seven, and ZMF has been at six of them, and I've never walked into the room. So I think I'm gonna have to change that in Dallas because thanks to Ey'all putting together the water cooler headphone edition tour, I've been able to listen to quite a few headphones that we'll be doing reviews on. And I also listened to his personal Caldera open, Frankie's Caldera closed. No, not Caldera. I'm sorry, Atrium's. So Atrium open and Atrium closed. Both, one is EL's, one is Frankie's. And I adored those headphones. They sounded so freaking good to me. So because he's put together this wonderful tour, we got to listen to a really, really awesome one that I'm going to review today. And not only do I think it's really cool that we have these tours and EL set it up, but when it comes to ZMF, I think it's really awesome too that you have so many varieties of wood, colors that you can get with them. So without much further ado, I'm going to be doing the ZMF Caldera closed. All right, so the Caldera closed. They retail for $3,499, and they are a planar magnetic headphone. So what I think is funny, once I actually saw them in person, it made sense to me. But I'm one of those people that I feel like certain things do not take pictures well and don't show their true beauty until you see the picture and you'll be like, oh, that looks kind of good. But then you actually go and see something in person. You're like, oh, that's spectacular. And that's the way I feel about ZMF headphones. Like, pictures do not do them any justice. When you see them in the craftsmanship and the beautiful woodwork in person, you're completely blown away. So we've got the headband here, the adjustments here, and then these beautiful, beautiful headphones. So let's talk about fit and finish for the Calderas. Again, I mentioned earlier that you just really have to see ZMF headphones in person to really just see how beautiful the woodworking is and how just luxuriously awesome they look. That includes headband structure and honestly a very, very good looking headphone. It's not the lightest headphone, but it's not the heaviest I've had. And as you can see, it fits very well and very comfortably, even weight distribution, no hot spots on my head, and it's something that I can listen to for a while without any discomfort. Every once in a while, though, and this is any headphone, I'll get some neck discomfort, especially if I'm doing a long listening, especially if it sounds so good that I'm just jamming, and maybe I'm moving my neck a little bit. But with these, there was no problem. So pound for pound, fit and finish, pretty awesome. All right. So, what we're here for, the sound on the Caldera closed. I think I'm very close to finding my ultimate headphone. I'm an IM guy. I just love IMs. I love how they sound within my ear. I love what they do with the sound. And for me, IMs are very easily tuned in a sense with multiple different tunings. Just because of the way they're made, headphones typically are not going to have as many tunings, or not even close to as many tunings as you can do individually with the individual drivers inside an IM. So I've been very picky with headphones. Like, I've owned the 109 Pros, love them. My wife loved those as well. I've owned the Meze Empyrean 2s, love them. My wife loves them as well. But they weren't headphones that just kind of sang to me in a sense. Like they're spectacular headphones, but it's funny because when you find a specific tuning with your IAM, and if it's one of those just, it might not even be a weird tuning, but it's just a different tuning. Sometimes for me, I try to gravitate towards a headphone that's going to at least come close to that tuning. Excuse me. And when, for example, an IAM that I've fallen in love with recently is a Les Jardins from the Unique Melody line. And I love what it does with the separation, the just the clarity that I'm getting and the resolution from individual instruments, their placement within the stage, the depth of them. It's just a spectacular IAM. So when I put the Caldera on, and I put on one of my classical tunes or one of my jazz tunes or heck, even one of my pop tunes, the more that I sat there and listened to it, the more I was like, aha, I think I might have found my perfect headphone. And the reason being is because being a closed back, you know, it's not going to have like the open back's spaciousness, but that's not a knock because the spaciousness was inside the stage for the Caldera close, I think is very, very good. Like you can have too much sometimes, but it's more of an intimate stage for me. When I'm putting something on like Bloom from Bill Lawrence or just that whole album, I put these on and I feel like he's playing, the orchestra is around me, the sound is immersive, there's such great separation, and some of the tracks, there's so many things going on that if you're listening to a bad headphone, it's going to get muddy, right? And you're not going to have all the separation, you're not going to have the different layers. But when I put the Caldera closed on, I'm getting all this beautiful layer of sound. The lower cellos and the bass have a nice bite to them. This isn't like a bass head headphone, but it's a very good textured bass that sounds appropriate for the instruments that are playing. And then when you talk about the mids, I've got a spaciousness of mids and air between the instruments where I can hear all individual instruments and they're placed where they're supposed to play, or supposed to be. And it just sounds really, really good. And it's awesome. Treble is a very good treble. There's extension there. It's not in your face. It's not glaring. It's not going to bite you in the butt, which sometimes it does, but not this time. So there's just such a very cohesive balance to the spectrum of bass all the way up to trebles, lows all the way to highs. So then I slapped on some, I can't remember, what did I do next? There's usually kind of like certain songs that I go through. Oh, I went to Billie Eilish. And I was listening, and again, so well recorded, so immersive, and it was just like she was singing to me. So voices sound very good on this. I switched to some Luther Vandross just to give the male perspective on voices. Still very good, still very lush. It's just a great sounding headphone. So that's some pop, what else did I do? I went to some jazz. And again, started with Use of Days. Then I tried some Kind of Blue from our boy Miles Davis. And I was learning, and then I stopped reviewing Brain. And I started just enjoying. And I've said this many times on this channel that there are certain IMs and headphones where I just turn it off because I'm enjoying what I'm hearing so much. And it's just a great all-around headphone. Even the bassier stuff, kind of like some of the Billie Eilish tunes, or even if you throw on some Kendrick, it's there. It's not going to give you like the bass head levels, but for me, there is a level before I'm like, I need to switch to something else so I can get that, It can give you that, right? For me, it does. So that's what I like about this headphone. I'm an old dude that doesn't want to be switching out IMs and headphones just for the mood I'm in. I like to, by the time that I can actually sit down and listen, I like to be able to just sit down and listen and not have to think about, oh, but God, this track would sound so much better on this. No, that's not the type of listener I am. So what I love about the Caldera closed is that you can pretty much play everything that you have, throw it at it, and it's going to do a really good job interpreting it and making music to your ears. I just love the layering, the depth. It's just a really great sounding headphone. The other plus too is if you have young little ones that you're trying to rock to sleep or put to sleep, not much sound leakage because it's a closed back. And then you could enjoy still a great sounding stage and everything like that. So Caldera closed, excellent headphone. This was a joy. I thank the tour for doing this, ZMF and EL, and yeah, this is a really good headphone. So, is the Caldera closed a buy? I think so. If you were looking for a in-game, ready to ride off into the sunset headphone, and you want something that doesn't leak sound, maybe you're sitting in a room with someone else that's watching TV, you don't want to bother them, or vice versa, then this would be a very good headphone. I think it does bass, treble, mid, gloriously. I think you can play multiple genres of music on it and enjoy it gloriously. So yeah, I think it's an excellent headphone. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask, and I will see you in the next video.